This is a dark world, both because it's night and because of the brutal struggle for survival among its polyhemochromatic inhabitants, many of whom seem to thrive on havoc and carnage. You'd be interested to see the Michaelan Guide entry for Alternia. You're convinced that after a day here, Ayn Rand would sign up for a little Sisters of the Poor. Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun would join the Quakers, and Adolf Hitler would seek membership in the World Peace Council. Whew. Godwin's Law alert. Goodwin's Law. Godwin? Goodwin? I don't know. Feeling a little dramatic tonight. Hey friends, it's me, A-Ball, back with another Hiveswap Friendsim video. Today we are starting volume 14, and here's our boy, KARAKO. That is actually who we're going to be doing today, because look at his fucking face. We love him, okay? Stan KARAKO. Alright, so, like I said, today we are going to be starting off this volume with KARAKO. And so let's really hope this route goes well. That is my prediction. This route will be good. It will be, because look at him. I don't think anything could be bad with that face. I'm gonna be so wrong. But look at him, he's so cute. I fucking love him. Okay, so yes, let's start. Alright. Having learned the dangers of using the public thoroughfares, you've taken to dodging down byways and skulking in rear areas, trying to spy out individuals who look ripe for friendship while avoiding the more criminally insane denizens. Just now, you're following a winding footpath through the undergrowth surrounding a neighborhood where the local hives are spaced far apart. You came creeping along this footpath for safety. You should have known better. The undergrowth here is, like most of the other life forms on Alternia, evolved to ruthlessly purge the gene pool of the weak and reasonable. Coiled, spring-loaded stalks with foot-long thorns flank writhing bushes with razor-edged leaves. With razor-edged leaves, which in turn crowd tentacle flora with toothed lobes, oozing liquid that hisses and smokes when it touches the ground. Extreme caution is needed, just as it is needed every circumstance on this planet. While your time on Alternia has gotten you accustomed to injuries, you still shrink from being impaled and stung on thorns that dissolved in acid. And dissolved in acid? I don't know. Sorry, I'm taking my headphones off. Alright, there we go. You should have, what? You should have known that eventually you would have to come up against the local flora. You'd proceed discreetly, avoiding poison fronds and trying not to step on trigger roots. But suddenly, your vegetative focus is interrupted. You hear footsteps on the path, and then around the corner comes a small figure. Oh, look at this cute boy. I love him. Oh my god, I'm like caressing the screen right now. He's so cute. He's so fucking cute. Its face and horns are painted with smudged black and white marks. Despite the diminutive physique, it has some of the most impressive horns you've seen on any troll. Oh! Then the small figure sees you too, and it is so startled it jumps a foot, impaling its horns on an overhanging tree branch and sticking there, so that its small legs helplessly pump the air. Honk! You beg the small person's pardon and assure him that you are fully as startled as he. You go on to explain that you are not dangerous, but that even if you were, you would not want to come to strife with come to strife even with a small person with horns of that size. Honk? Yes, you will be happy to help him down as long as he promises not to attack you with the many bladed weapons that are stuffed into his belt, or with the dozen cans of inexpensive soft drink held in the band lawyers across his chest. It strikes you suddenly that a neighborly gesture like helping someone whose horns are stuck in a tree branch can scarcely fail to kindle the light of friendship. You dare to hope that this will be the case now. Edging forward, you get close enough to see that around the small clown's neck hangs a dog tag, or an ID necklace. You tilt your head and crane your neck to read the writing on it. KARAKO PIEROT. If lost, call Bronya Ursima. Oh, are we going to see Bronya? Suddenly, this makes sense. This KARAKO PIEROT must have been one of Bronya's reject rent-wrigglers, who, having grown into childhood under her tender care, has gone out into the world to seek his fortune. That would account for his small size, short legs, and small stature relative to his horns. You eagerly pull out your palm husk, happy for an excuse to pester your old friend, but you've got zero signal out here. You wonder if the surrounding vegetation eats palm husk signals, just as it looks like it eats everything else. You disappointedly slip your palm husk back into your pocket. Honk. You apologize for the delay, explaining that you are surprised to find that you were surprised to find that you appear to have an acquaintance in common, whom you will have time to discuss later. For now, you are ready, willing, and hopefully able to get him down. You hope he won't be offended if you slip behind him first. Is the music loud enough? I can't hear the music. I don't have headphones on. Yeah, it's good. You hope he won't be offended if you slip behind him first. It's not that you object to bladed weapons or those stuff, or those who stuff dozens of them in their belts, but you feel that the ones he is wearing could ruin your look if buried in your torso, however unintentionally. You edge past the weapons, being careful also to not touch the spring thorns growing at the edge of the path or their trigger roots. Once you're behind KARAKO. KARAKO? Yeah, it is KARAKO. You grasp his horns firmly and pull, withdrawing them from the tree branch, and allowing him to drop lightly to the ground. Honk! Oh, he's so fucking cute. I love him. He's mine now. I have taken him. He is now my child. You tell him that he is very welcome. Then there's that awkward moment of silence as you try to think of something else to say. Fortunately, your new potential friend is not as devoid of the social graces as you are, and gets the conversational ball rolling himself. Honk? You explain that you are indeed a stranger in these parts, and that you actually don't fit into any of the hemospectrum categories. Wild, right? Although not quite as strange as you used to be, you like to think. Although is not quite as strange as you used to be, you like to think. You're really starting to blend in with the local color. Honk? Well, you'd rather not exhibit your blood just now. You're a couple of quarts low due to the robust conditions of life on Alternia, some of which you have recently had the honor of encountering. Honk. You sympathize. Slinking down these hidden paths in Alternian woods can be tough on the morale. The smell alone is enough to make strong men weep, and the vegetation looks like it was designed by Marquis de Sade. Not that he knows what the Marquis de Sade is. You can't help but feel that it would be so much better if you only had a skulk buddy. You continue. How wonderful it would be to travel these dusky lanes with a kindred spirit, a twin soul, a fellow traveler, an intimate crony. Intimate crony. You're such an expert on friend synonyms by now. Honk? No, you haven't met anyone like that either, but you would certainly like to. Your new potential friend is obviously thinking seriously about this issue, so you back off, giving him space, and pretend to be deeply... You pretend to be deeply immersed in studying one of the razor-sharp leaves on one of the writhing tree brushes... On the writhing bushes beside the path. I'm sorry, I'm like messing up a lot here. You aren't one to force yourself on others or try to unduly influence their friendship decisions. Okay, maybe you forced yourself on others in the past and tried to influence their friendship decisions. Maybe you've done this a lot, but you've recently evolved as a person. You know now that friendship is something that has to come authentically from within. Friendship is spontaneous. Real friendship sprouts naturally from the soil of mutual respect. Wow, MC, you're really growing. Kind of. The best friendships grow and ripen over years, and are not rushed or forced, of course. You've only known this small person for about 5 minutes, but you have to start ripening sometime. You're reflecting thus on the theme of friendship when a loud pours suddenly from the sky above you. That's like a skirzicushul. Its crackling, sizzling sound like a chitinous thing with many legs struggling in a hot frying pan. Okay. Karako jumps so violently that he nearly gets his horn stuck in the tree again. Looking up, you see a floating metal object, vaguely troll-shaped, but the huge, faceless metal vaguely troll-shaped, but huge, faceless, metal, and with numerous sets of lightning bolt-shaped horns coming out of its head and neck. It's also not very sparkling. It's not also a very sparkling conversationalist. Ugh. Loud noise. It remarks in a flat, echoing blare. It elaborates further. Honk! Oh boy. It's a drone. Is it a drone? Alright, I don't know. I'm saving. Right here. Yes. Close menu. Leap to your proto-friend's aid. Let's do that. Oh boy. You leap to your proto-friend's aid. Thinking quickly, you push Karako against a large rock that juts out from the undergrowth nearby and jump in front of him, shielding him from the drone with your body. You then pretend to be leaning against the rock with an attitude of tranquil repose. Several of the bladed weapons on Karako's belt poke you in the ass, but you don't let this show on your face. Instead, you yawn elaborately and check your wristwatch. You don't have a wristwatch, but you don't think the drones know what a wristwatch is anyways. You pretend to smoke a non-existent cigarette. Again, you're not giving anything away, because drones don't know what cigarettes are either. But the drone has apparently taken an interest in you. It floats down between the trees' undergrowth and hovers above the path several meters from where you were pretending to relax against a rock after a long day of hiking through the scenic shit-smell forest. It's quite terrifying. It's a quite terrifying sight, actually. The drone observes soullessly, making Karako jump so that several of your internal organs are threatened. However, you maintain what you believe the local populace would call a stiff upper whistle pillow. What? The drone's blank metal head studies you, or it could be studying something in the opposite direction, or even taking the drone equivalent of a piss. You can't really tell from its expression, because it has no features to make expressions with. The examination or non-examination continues for some time. But your diminutive potential friend is well hidden from view, and after a while, evidently concluding that you are an inanimate object that makes unaccountable gestures with its wrists and fingers, the drone floats upward again, gaining speed until with a dreary it whizzes off somewhere to find other hapless non-standard citizens to euthanize. When it's gone, you stand away from the rock and rub several sore places that have been pierced by bladed weapons. You turn to KARAKO to comment on the recent favor, but stop when you see the look he is directing at you. A warm and admiring look, an affectionate and esteeming look, a look of friendship. Your first impulse is to throw your arms around him and lean in, but on the second thought, you're remembering his pants arsenal. And what? On second thought, remembering his pants arsenal, you put out your hand for a warm handshake. Victory is so close. But before you can seal the deal with this sweet friendship transaction, you hear a disturbance further down the path. God, can't the narrative chill for one single moment? Especially a moment when you're about to consummate a beautiful friendship? You turn to look. The footsteps, several sets of them, get nearer, and around the bend come three figures. Three figures wearing swimming outfits. Lots of gold jewelry. Oh God. Lots of gold jewelry. And insouciant expressions. Three figures with gills on their necks and small stylized fins on their face. Oh man, is it possible that you finally happened upon a group of legendary sea dwellers? Yeah, and it's bad. They stop short when they see you and KARAKO, obviously startled. They study you, and you study them. The fin-head interloper 1, in a one-piece and diamond earrings, whispers to her companions, and all three burst out laughing. Fin-head interloper 2, in a violet swimsuit and rings, slaps her thigh, and fin-head interloper 3 is checkered swimming trunks, holds his sides. Part of you is relieved. Laughter drives out the devil. It is the best medicine, and in any event is better than homicidal mania. On the other hand, this laughter isn't friendly. It's cold, mocking, and supercilious. Supercilious? I don't know. These sea dwellers are obviously laughing at you, not with you. Oh, my baby boy, don't... It's okay. It's okay, we love you. You notice KARAKO's cheeks flustering purple under his face paint, and his jaws clenching. However, he just stares with a stony dignity at the interlopers. This just makes them laugh harder. The first sea dweller says, "Well, what are you two supposed to be?" No, I'm not doing that, I'm sorry. Shroom Cassidy and the Squamous Kid asks her second companion, "A cullbait minnow and his mutated soft-shell crab," says her third. Looks like the Minomo went... What? It looks like the Minomo one went down on the clown, causing it to spurt out the other one. What? The Sea Dweller's laughter is redoubled. You continue expressionless at these insults, but to your dismay, KARAKO's face is taking a harsh, glowering look. You guess that such a tiny dude has probably been victimized by bullies all his life, and as you happen to know, there are no bullies like Alternian bullies. Honk. You tell him not to let them talk all the shit. You tell him to let them talk all the shit they want. They, don't let them provoke him. They're trying to get him to do something stupid. If he doesn't react, they'll get bored and go away. Honk. No, Remember that drone? It's probably still here somewhere. Touch the scale on their heads, and you could get rendered into mother grub feedstock. Hey, bottom feeders, no whispering when you're in the presence of your bathers. And you, little buoy, as in boy, put a respectful expression on your recognition surface. Be more like your friend, the slender manatee. Slender manatee over there. In fact, why is it that you two are still porpendicular? What? Are still porpendicular? In the presence of sea dwellers, you should be bowed at the right anglers. The first sea dweller seems to have an affinity for cheesy ocean puns. You bow to the sea dwellers. You have your dignity, but you also like not getting killed. Oh no, my baby, it's okay, it's okay. KARAKO remains stubbornly upright, his face getting angrier and purpler by the moment. The bladed weapons in his belt jingle from his enraged trembling. Oh, see the little clownfish, he's getting angry. Looks like he's gonna shit his pants. What did I tell you about your face, boy? Didn't your Lucis teach you anything? I doubt he even has a Lucis. A self-respecting Lucis would never let a shrimp like that out of the hive. Unless his Lucis is just as defective. Oh boy. The Lucis cracks are too much for KARAKO. Ignoring your hissed warnings, he suddenly leaps snarling into the air, draws bladed weapons from his belt in each hand, and hurtles towards the sea dwellers. Oh boy. Honk! Leap into the fray and lend comfort and support. I think we all know what I'm gonna do. Fuck yeah. You leap into the fray and lend comfort and support. You would have counseled KARAKO to turn the other cheek and keep turning the other cheek after cheek. Keep turning cheek after cheek until the sea dwellers got fed up and went away, but now that things have hotted up, you're not about to let down the slide. Oh boy. KARAKO crashes into the sea dwellers, his bladed weapons whirling like a blender. You scamper close behind him and kick someone in the shin. It hurts your foot, but it doesn't seem to have any other effect. These sea dwellers are made of tough stuff, or you're extremely flimsy. Signs have recently pointed to the latter. Your next sortie is more effective, however. Thinking quickly, you pick up a rock and throw it at the trigger root of a spring thorn growing along the path next to where the violet bloods are enduring Hurricane Clown. The coiled stalk springs out, impaling the dude with a dozen foot-long thorns. He's thrown off balance, and violet blood begins to flow copiously down his body. That's a hue you haven't seen before. Kinda pretty. But these sea dwellers are made of tough stuff. He yanks the springthorn stalk away from him, pulling the thorns out. It flings into the woods then he takes out a pocket handkerchief and starts patting his injuries gently. Oh. Meanwhile, KARAKO's bladed weapons have not been idle. The other two sea dwellers are likewise leaking violet blood. But these bastards are hard to kill. You remember Polypa telling you that. As you watch, one of them grabs one of the bladed weapons from KARAKO's hand and buries it in KARAKO's stomach. No, my boy! No! This, unsurprisingly, is distracting for a poor little clown, allowing two of the finny sons of bitches to grab handfuls of bladed weapons from his belt and bury them in various parts of his body. You dance around, delivering harmless kicks and curses. Oh no! No, this is bad. This is bad. This is very bad. No. Karako is still waving his weapons, but he seems to be waving them more slowly now. Then, as more and more bladed weapons are buried in his body, he seems to lose focus. The weapons he's been brandishing fall from his hands. No! Finally, he falls to the ground at the center of a spreading pool of purple blood, twitches feebly for a minute, and then is still. You stare in disbelief at the corpse of one who, if he had been spared just a short while longer, could have been your friend. One despised and rejected, a clown suffering, familiar with pain. They had flogged him and mocked him and spit on him and then killed him. You struggle to come to terms with this. While you're doing that, one of the remaining sea dwellers grabs you by the hair and suplexes you into the ground. Your head snaps back in pain, and explodes behind your eyes. You're left lying on your back, trying to stay conscious, which is why you have a good view of what happens next. What? In the dark sky above you, something opens. Something even darker than the sky. A hole, like a cave in the clouds. It widens until you can see that in the cave is a carousel. In the cave, a carousel with wooden horses mounted on brass posts rotates, the horses plunging up and down in time with carnival music played by a mechanical organ. What? Riding the horses are naked store window mannequins, their legs slung awkwardly over the horses' backs and their stiff arms down by their sides in whatever pose they were created, their horns huge and wildly shaped. In the darkness above the carousel, other naked mannequins with plastic wings tied to their backs are supported on wires, and above these, in turn, a net of white Christmas tree lights twinkle against the roof of the dark cave Twinkle against the roof of the dark cave or circus tent, or whatever it is, throwing their dim starlight illumination down on the rotating carousel. As you watch, two of the winged mannequins break loose from their wires and fly down from that dark region into the night sky with the dimension of Alternia Okapis? What? Alternia in the dimension... Oh, in the dimension Alternia... Oh, fuck. Oh, no. I know that word, and I feel like an idiot. Occupies. That's what that word is. They fly down from that dark region into the night sky in the dimension that Alternia occupies. They maneuver until the stiff hands on the ends of their stiff arms are underneath Karako, and then they lift him up into the sky, into the dark carnival. What? You hear a last faint reviving honk as they set him on one of the wooden horses, and then the hole in the sky closes and there is nothing but the night sky above you. All is silent and still again. An odd feeling comes over you. You don't think you've ever felt such a feeling, just the reality of how utterly insignificant you are. Sure, you've spent the last few months wandering with no desire but the desire for connection, and you are, in a way, being unique in this galaxy, but honestly, what does that even mean? You flit in and out of people's lives, there 1 minute and gone the next, always moving from friend to friend. You are, for all intents and purposes, a virtual non-entity, a bland point-of-view vector, a neutral second-person narrator, barely coming into the picture, a retiring entity expressing only a simple one-dimensional desire for friendship. But just about now, you feel that things have gone pretty far, and just about now, you feel that you've about had enough. Enough of arrogant high-bloods. Enough, in fact, of short wavelength hemotypes, carelessly and without compunction, killing and maiming and exploiting those of longer wavelengths, of a survival of the fittest regime that seems to come down of a survival of the fittest regime that seems to come down to survival of the most violent psychopaths. This is a moral universe. Is this a moral universe or is it not? You ask yourself. Are repulsive cruelty and sickening evil punished in this universe, or are they not? Does an ethical force operate in this universe, or does it not? You don't know the answer to these questions, but you do know one thing. You intend to depart for once from your one-dimensional persona. You intend to punish repulsive cruelty and sickening evil if it comes within your ability to do so. You intend to create an ethical force field in your local region. You intend to exert some moral gravity right around where you are, if you possibly can. And you realize that this odd feeling you are having seems to be drawing moral Higgs bosons out of the moral ground state, and right out of the fabric of this multicolored blood-soaked planet that heaves under your feet. You take on the aspect of Clown Sarker. What? You take on the aspect of Clown Sarker. Seizing 2 cans of inexpensive soft drink from where they fell from KARAKO's bandoliers, you shake them and pull the pins. Then, with malice afterthought, you direct the twin streams at the sea dwellers. You smell banana and strawberry as deadly streams spray upon them. Already weakened, they fall back with cries under the withering onslaught. As soon as the streams slacken, you take up 2 more cans, shake them, and deal out death to the unrighteous. You smell peach and diet root beer this time. Diet root beer? Sorry, diet root beer? This time, but no pity softens your heart. You wouldn't care even if it were pineapple, watermelon, you were just spraying these brutes. Pineapple or watermelon you were spraying on these brutes. But these finheads are made of tough stuff. Rallying even in the face of this intense onslaught, they push forward, and seizing some blade weapons from the purple blood pool, advance on you. Not one step back, you vow to the memory of KARAKO Piero. You stand your ground in desperation, grabbing some cans of diet tonic water and club soda, and opening up your batteries once again, but to no avail. A trident pierces you to the bone, followed by a scimitar, a tomahawk, a short spear, and so many other bladed weapons that the sheer weight of them drives you to the ground, where your red precious blood flows in moderate streams, mixing with the purple blood of your proto-friend. This is the end, you realize, but you are glad you died in a righteous battle. You are glad you created even the tiny sputtering temporary moral force field in your local region that you did. You can feel your life and narrative point of view slipping away, but you are coherent. You are content. Yet, what's that you see above you now? A dark space has opened up, even darker than the night sky, and 2 stiff-looking winged figures are descending. They land next to you and gently place their stiff hands under you. Then they ascend once again, lifting you higher and higher into the darker space. As you pass the boundary of the heavenly carnival, your life seems to revive within you, and as the fabric of the place closes, around you, and the two stiff mannequins place you on a carousel horse next to KARAKO. You realize that the planet's universes, dimensions, realities, powers, principalities, and cosmos come and go, but friendship is forever. What? Okay. Holy fuck! What is happening? Uh, okay, honestly, I figured this would probably happen eventually. I mean, it is paradox space after all. Alright. Whew! Dude, that's too fucking deep. I'm sorry. I feel fucked up now. Okay, so, that was a lot of talking. Oh man. I just don't know what to say now. I'm like completely speechless. Is that a good ending? Is that the good ending? I'm not going to count that as a good ending. I'm sorry. Even if I did, win his friendship, it's not going down as a good ending in my book. Oh, my poor boy. I'm so sorry. So that was, one of the endings, to Karako's route. I hope you found it as interesting as I did. God damn it, they hit me twice with fucking Boldier and the last one and now this? What the... I'm not ready, man. If you want to play the game for yourself, there will be a link in the description where you can go. It is on Steam, and each DLC is only 99 cents. So, if you want some more of this mindfuckery or to experience it yourself, go there. But if you do not want to pay for it, you can always watch all of my videos on it. This is actually the 51st video I've done regarding Hiveswap Friendsim. So yeah, hooray. Her fucking hooray. But yeah. So there will be a link at the end of the video to my playlist where you can go watch all of this shenanigans. That's all I have for this video, guys. Bye.